So lots has been made about Bryson DeChambeau the last few weeks, and kind of rightfully so. You know, he tried to put a ton of distance on, and he certainly achieved that. Today's video is more about what he's done in his swing than he's done in the gym. So the gym stuff is impressive, but you might not be able to copy most of the stuff he's been doing. He's doing something radically different in his swing, in my opinion, that I think is one of the reasons why he's been able to jump up in distance so much. Yes, the gym stuff's important, but he had a mechanical thing that he could access as well. Today's video, I'm going to show you how you can access a little more spice, a little more distance, and I think it will give you more consistency as well. Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and today's video is kind of using Bryson as the example. You know, he is the hot topic at the minute in terms of creating more distance. I think he's added something to his swing that wasn't there previously, and that not only is going to allow him to hit it further, it's going to allow him to be just as consistent. And for the guys that are watching at home, I think if you can add this movement to a certain degree, you'll hit the ball further, but you'll get a better contact, and you'll control the club in better. So you see, this recipe is going to actually lead to bigger, further shots. You know, something that I hear about distance all the time is, yeah, if I get quicker but I can't deliver the club, obviously that extra speed isn't going to translate. I think this move, so it's kind of a sequencing move, it's going to help the club move quicker, but it's also going to make the hands and the arms track into a better position. So let's get in, let's talk about this move. So before I get there, I want to kind of give you a brief overview of how Bryson swings, and it's going to be very brief because I think he's got one of those swings that is really easy to visualize. You know, his club's very, very upright. It then, in his address, it makes it look like the arms and the wrists have kind of been locked out a little bit. He then tries to swing on quite a high plane, and he tries to keep it on a singular plane. So he's trying to feel like the club just goes up, and then you turn through with the chest. You don't have to do too much with the arms. So Bryson always swung it that way because he felt like that would give him consistency. He's kind of working on a theory: if it doesn't need to move, let's not move. And that's a topic for a different video. You know, that works for some people, it's not going to work for others. But when someone's swinging like that, I'm not going to expect them to be hitting it to their fullest potential. Bryson is a big guy and he's very good at twisting, so he was able to hit it far enough. But it doesn't surprise me that he had a lot of extra distance to find, because what he's doing in that swing is he is working on separation between the lower body and the upper body. You know, if you cross your arms, he's kind of going, well, the arms don't do anything, I just turn back and then I get my lower body driving, my upper body twists against it, and then that's how I generate the energy, that's how I generate my club head speed. And although that is a very good way to do it, we have access to another part where we can start separating and actually create more speed again, more energy again, and that is between the chest and the upper arm. So when I'm watching Bryson, and I know I've got an iron in my hand, but like, especially when you're watching him with driver, the biggest difference I'm seeing in his swing is when he gets to the top, he used to not load this lead arm. He didn't load into the chest. Like when I'm doing this, and I would recommend you do this even if you're at home, is you can feel the shoulder engaging. It does two things. It helps the energy from the chest get moved into the arm, and when you do it through separation, so it almost creates, or it does create, an eccentric load. So that's jargon to say basically whatever energy you had, it gets multiplied when you put an eccentric load in. So that's why the separation from the lower body and the upper body is important, because it gives you a multiplying effect. So if you have a little bit in the legs and you separate, you get more value the further you get in. But we have to get that energy into the arm. So can you see this loads? So you're going to pass more, plus the eccentric load kind of gives you a little more spice. What it also does, and this is where I think people at home can get a little confused when you watch a tour pro, is when you load here, what you're going to see is the energy will start to look like the club starts to load a bit more. You know, if we talk about like wrist positions, it's going to look like they're trying to lag the club a bit more. I agree that's happening, but please don't try and just do it at the wrist, because if you do it at the wrist, you tend to lose control of the face. Plus, if you do it in a kind of uncontrolled manner, remember, lag gives you potential, but you have to then be able to get down to the ball and try and throw all of those angles out. So if they're not kind of created in the right way, I actually see trying to make this angle bigger actually hurt more golfers than it helps. So we get here, we turn back, we push into the arm, and you see that starts to load the club. So then when I turn through and do the other stuff, the club then wants to be delivered to the ball. And this is one of the reasons, again, I think Bryson has been able to show such a big jump. He's definitely got stronger physically, and then because he's trying to hit it harder, I'm talking about the shoulder, but if you think about it, if you kind of do it and you're loading into the left side a little bit as well, that's going to give you that feeling. It loads the shaft a little bit more, and then he's able to hit it further without hitting it wider. You know, his driving, yes, it's impressive how far he's hitting, but to hit it that far and hit it as straight as he is, it shows you he's doing something mechanically that is really, really sound. I believe this is the answer. This is the thing you can bring into your own golf game. Let's give you a drill. I'm going to give you two drills. One drill, one you can do outside. Second drill, one you can do inside. Let's get to the one that's for the outside. First drill, you need one of the most expensive training aids there are on the market today, the pool noodle. What we're going to do, and you'll see I've got this one long because I use it for other things. You know, if you were only using it for this drill, you could cut a chunk off. You don't need it as long as this. But what I'm doing is I'm shoving it under my lead arm. I swing to the top, and then when I come down, it's not about trying to keep the arm on the body, it's actually about trying to squeeze into the pool noodle. So I swing to the top, I squeeze, and I'm trying to get that sensation of squeezing. I'm using a pool noodle. I also see people using like bubble wrap, just something that's a bit soft that you can squeeze into. And I think that's where we've had a bit of a misconception in golf, is that like you put the glove underneath, you know, and you just try to keep everything together. Although that might keep things together, it's not creating the muscular loads that's actually going to help you deliver that golf club. So using one of these, put it underneath, swing back. The backswing might feel a little bit too tight, so I'm not going to try and swing it overly long, but it's all about trying to feel that load. First feel it in the arm, and then kind of get the sensations of how that left leg also joins the party. This is a drill that I use obviously for distance and to increase sequencing, but I'm working with one of the coaches here at Bonita Bay who's a fantastic player. We've been using this drill to try and actually aid his contact. You know, he's somebody that tends to stay back a little bit. It's actually aiding his contact, and he was getting the sensation that although he was swinging it really good, it felt like he didn't really know where the golf club was. So think about it, when you get to the top of your swing, if you can squeeze that, it shows you where that club is coming down. It controls where the club starts to slot. When this is all loose, can you see it can kind of free out? The club might just go wherever it so wishes. So yes, this is a way to increase distance, but because it gets the club loading in the correct place, because it pulls the hands, pulls everything back in behind you, you now don't have to worry about squaring this face. And if you're worrying about squaring the face, it's obviously a lot to handle for a full round. You know, you can hit some good shots on the range, but it's hard to maintain on the course. This is a real simple sensation to create. Once you've got the feeling, you can actually exploit it on the course, feeling like you're being nice and powerful, but you are not going to give up any consistency. And like I've said it before and I'll say it again, that's a good deal. So I showed you the outdoor drill, and the outdoor drill is fantastic to create a feel and then hit shots straight after. So you kind of get the feel and then apply. This is a great exercise you can do away from the range, build the feelings and actually build the movements. So actually teach your body how to make this movement. So I have a TRX. You don't need a TRX to do this one. It's actually fine to like hold onto a door handle. The reason I'm using this is in the golf swing the hands are a bit higher than the waist height. So trying to grab something a bit higher, you know, anything around the house you can hold on to. Like if you've got a rail in the shower, don't pull the rail off of the shower. That's my disclaimer. But anything you can kind of hold on to, because the idea of this is, so I've got it with my lead arm, so my left arm, and what I'm doing is I'm just pulling against it. I'm feeling my body turn, and I'm feeling my chest in particular turn into that lead arm. So I'm feeling it load. You know, sometimes this might feel completely different to what you're doing, but what that does is it takes the energy that you've created in your lower body, moved it into the chest, it then lets you fire it into the golf club. Because remember, it's great to create some like massive vertical force from the ground, but the ground is a long way from the golf club. You know, we need to find a mechanism that can pass that energy up through, and the benefit of this one is, like I've said earlier in this video, not only will it pass it on, it will put a multiplying effect as well. So you see I'm just holding. What this is doing is it's stopping me being able to move my arm. I turn my chest into my arm. Once I've done that, this is a good progression, is kind of swing to the top and then start trying to create the move. Because what you might find is you're quite tight in this area. A lot of men get tight here, especially if you work at a desk. So if we're tight here, not only does this drill show you what to do, it actually encourages your body to be able to do it. Because you might find at this current point, your body isn't too interested in separating and creating an eccentric load. So you see I've done the first one, gain the feel. When I'm holding this, it makes it easier for me to stabilize my arm, so it actually might let me do a movement that I can't do when I'm not holding something. But then I get here and I start seeing, can I turn my chest into my arm without moving my arm? What that does in your golf swing is it starts to load the club, starts to pull the club inside a little bit. You know, it slots the club, so then you can just go, all systems go, bang, hit some powerful, consistent golf shots. So there we have it, 2 drills, and they complement each other really well. You can create feelings with the indoor ones, and then create application with the outdoor ones. So I would highly recommend you do them together, and you're going to create a little bit of sequencing between the lower body, the upper body, and then like the upper body and the arms, and you're going to find you're going to be real powerful and you're going to hit consistent shots. So I hope this has helped. Get any questions down below if you've got more questions on the stuff that was in this video, or if you've got any other coaching related questions, feel free, get them in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. Stay safe, and I hope to catch you soon.